Coming up, we are going to give you our impressions of the 2014 Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and the brand new Villains Sinister Soiree. All of that is coming up next. This is the DIS Unplugged, episode 736 for the week of September 2nd, 2014. The DIS Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, and Adventures by Disney vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the DIS Unplugged, coming to you live here from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I am Dustin West, your host for this episode, and I am joined at the table by my friends Jenny Lynn Knopp, Kathy Whirling, Teresa Eccles, Corey Martin, and back in the Nook we have Sean Thompson and Craig Williams, our associate producers. And again, we want to welcome you to the show. In this episode, we are going to talk all about the 2014 Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. We had the opportunity last night to go to the very first Halloween party of the season. And before we get into too much, I just want to go around the table and ask everybody, and for you guys back there as well, ask everybody just their initial first impressions of the party, maybe comparing it, what your impression is based on like previous year's events or just your impression in general. So JL, I'll start with you.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, actually. We mentioned in the prior segment that the cast members seemed to kick it up a notch in their enthusiasm. I think that carried a long way. Also, it's very, very obviously it was the first party of the season, as we mentioned. So for that reason, crowd levels were really low, which I found very pleasant, actually. And the characters were great. Like, I just, all throughout the night, it just, overall for me, it was great. I enjoyed myself very much.
Okay, great. How about you, Kathy?
I'll join the bandwagon. I really enjoyed it. The thing that I liked is I saw that they had improved on some things from previous years, or the fact that I've been going for the last however many years, and my criticism always is they're an entertainment company. They could change these things up, and they never do, where I think they did it this time. But then I also saw some attention to detail that I think they need to maybe tighten up on a little bit. But I had a great time at the party.
Okay, thanks, Kathy. How about you, Teresa?
This was my 7th year going, and I think I can say I had more fun this year than I have in the past 3 years.
Is that because you went alone?
No, it wasn't.
She was with me. That's why she enjoyed it.
No, it had nothing to do with not having the children with me. It had to do with, thank you, Dustin. Graceful. Appreciate that. It had to do with, I don't know. Last year it was kind of like, oh, I got to go to the party.
Yeah.
And this year I started out that way, but then when I got there I realized, okay, it was just something different. They tweaked it, and I just had more fun.
Cool. How about you, Corey?
I thought it was great. It's kind of tough to get the first impression when you go at 7:30 because it's still daylight outside, so you kind of have to wait till the sun sets to really get that feeling. One thing I did notice, the music was different.
Yes.
It felt like more of a party atmosphere. I mean, almost sort of like a techno vibe to it in some areas. Like even when you left the party, like the clock was like strobing.
Yeah, I said to Teresa, I says, the music's different, or am I just not remembering it?
I think it was louder, so that was a cool change, and also Club Villains. I really like that.
I think
that
both
addition.
of those things are some sort of influence from the Villains Unleashed party that they had been working on. How about you guys in the back, Sean?
Pretty much similar opinion. I think it was very good. I think they did some nice improvements. I think the food selection, they had a nice selection of unique foods, not just the regular cupcakes. There were pumpkin waffles, cotton candy,
Cotton corn.
I'm sorry, candy corn, cotton candy, candy corn ice cream.
They can be difficult.
So that was cool. I think that the Club Villain was a nice improvement. There were a couple things that were a little disappointing. Mainly, the villains didn't mingle anymore; they just mixed on stage.
Yeah.
So the mingle was left out. But overall, it was really nice. Very good.
How about you, Craig?
It had its ups and downs. Like the parade is basically the same as it has been, except with the addition of Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope von Schweet. I didn't. The couple things that I thought were negative and very minor, but like in the hub area, they always had these little statues of the characters dressed up in Halloween costumes. Just a nice little touch from day to day, and those were missing this year. But Club Villains was great. The candy actually was one of the best selections they've had. A lot of name brand stuff was given out in generous quantities. But
Plenty of craisins to go around.
all the craisins to go anywhere. It's a Halloween party. It's a good time. If that's your thing. If it's not, it's not.
How poignant.
It was emotional.
It was. He laughed, he cried.
You know me.
Well, before we get into some of the details about the different things that were offered this year, Craig, I know you have tirelessly created a overview video that I think some people want to see and give us a clue as to what happened last night at the first Halloween party. So let's take a look at that video. Well, thank you, Craig, for that creepy and bizarrely somber video. That
You're welcome.
What's that sound? It's like someone has a Ricola or something. Someone have a Hall's cough drop.
No. Corey's munching on a lollipop.
Mr. Martin.
So, first of all, I'm going to apologize for anybody, including myself at the table, that might be delirious or tired at this show. We were going pretty late last night for the Halloween party. I want to start by let's talk about what is new this year. So we can kind of go around if anybody wants to chip in. What's brand new this year?
I'll actually start with that.
Okay.
Brand new this year, they decided to start the Halloween party on September 1st. Way too early. I should have talked about that in my gripe. Or in the gripe section. It was
That's
nice.
not what that was. But
It wasn't.
Craig sees things differently than the rest of the world sometimes.
It was very nice that the crowd was a lot lower because it was so early on in. But it's really hard to get in the Halloween spirit whenever it was 95 degrees in the middle of the day and then going down.
Yeah.
But that is one new addition.
brutal.
until the sun set, it was like the sun was just slapping us in the face. What was it? This is Labor Day, right?
It was the Labor Day party,
Yeah.
to be honest.
This was Labor Day, and it was oddly not busy for a holiday Monday weekend.
Well, a lot of kids went back to school today, so
Yeah,
maybe that's why.
that makes sense. A lot of people are in school, but I agree with you. As much as I love the Halloween party, it's early.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2 months before Halloween.
It was
And-
so hot. I really wish I'd have brought a change of clothes.
Yeah.
Because by the end of the night, I
were
just
all
felt sorry for
sweaty.
everybody around me.
I was wearing jeans. That was a mistake. So other than the starting date,
It made a paste.
Well, there was Club Villain.
Club Villain.
Club Villain is new this
Yeah,
year.
let's chat about Club Villain for a little bit. Who had a chance to go see that?
We did. I enjoyed
I
it.
think we
Yeah.
all made it there.
Yeah.
I really liked it. It was a new scene. In the years past, they've kind of had a hokey cowboy theme going, with Woody and stuff. And I've been in those parties with my children, and they're just it was definitely geared more towards kids, and there just didn't seem to be all that much going on. You kind of would walk in and you walk out.
Now this was in the Diamond Horseshoe,
In the
right?
Diamond Horseshoe is where it used to be, yeah.
Okay.
And so this year they changed it to Club Villain, which I felt like that was a good move. You walk in and it automatically had more atmosphere than the dance parties that had been held in the Diamond Horseshoe
Yeah.
in years previous. They had new artwork up on the wall.
The black lights
The
kind
black
of added to that
lights,
artwork.
right?
Yeah.
The characters were fantastic. Like we talked about in the Villains Soiree, a lot of them were face characters rather than characters in full costume. So there was a lot of interaction
Yeah.
going on with the other people that were dancing.
My first impression, now I did not get a chance, speaking of the Villains Soiree, I did not get a chance to go to this because by the time I was done with the Villains Soiree, it was already 12:30, 1 o'clock-ish time frame. My first impression of when I heard about this Club Villain thing is that I was immediately comparing, in my mind, to the thing that they did at the Brown Derby
Club
for
Evil?
Villains. Yeah, Club Evil at Villains Unleashed. Is it anything like that, or is it nothing like
No.
that?
No, this is a dance party. So it's
Just a
loud
dance
music. There's a
party.
DJ. Characters are dancing around the center. So it's pretty much just kind of like it was in the past with Woody and different characters.
But the whole
little darker,
theming of
yeah.
it is a little bit more.
Sure, the theming was different, but
Yeah, and people seemed, at least I have to say, especially on a night where there weren't large crowds, it seemed like people were more involved in this dance party than the ones that I'd been to in the same venue
Well,
in years previous.
As a mom, are you ever worried about how loud it is in these parties for your kids' ears?
No, because a lot of kids these days are actually walking around with plugs in their ears, earbuds. I worry more about that than, these temporary parties.
Okay.
So.
I
went in
worry,
there.
Craig.
Are
I
you
worry.
suggesting, Craig, that it was incredibly loud in there?
it was horribly loud,
Yeah.
I
It-
think.
it
Yeah.
is very loud.
Way too loud.
What?
It was loud, but not any louder than the dance with the records in the gymnasium in 1972.
How loud was that? What
that
song
was very
it?
loud. I remember it being very.
Our ears are still ringing.
More specifics, please. Was that part of the annex or was that part of the regular school?
It was the gym.
Okay.
Did you spike the punch?
Gym, I did. No, I thought it was loud, but I loved it.
So what
the
you're-
black lights, the villains in there when I was in there were amazing, dancing about, kind of weirdly dancing, which I really enjoyed. It was just wasn't. Well, don't you think it was odd, Kathy, the way they were dancing? But I liked it. It was like, okay, this
Were
is
they
weird.
twerking? What was happening?
Well, that one stepsister was doing some funky moves, and
I think when we were there, it was really quiet. I mean, there weren't a whole lot of people, so I think they were just
busting a
goofing
move.
around.
Yeah,
and,
all alone.
You know, maybe
It
they
was
got a little
interesting.
more serious as
It wa-
more people showed up.
It was pretty busy when I went in there. I went in right after the parade, so it seems like a lot of the crowd from the parade went in there. So there was, it was a good amount of people.
From not doing it, what I'm hearing from you guys is that if you're used to going to the Disney parties and you like the dance parties that they do, you should definitely go to this. But it's stepped up the theming a little bit. It's kicked that.
Definitely.
It seems to be that there was black light, fog machines.
This was a little more like, was it last year when they had limited time magic and they had a show in there with performers? This was sort of more that way, like they put a little more time and effort into Club Villains this year than the dance parties in the past.
But was Woody anywhere in the park last night?
I didn't see him.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you guys remember which villains were at the Club
Yes.
Villain?
Villains.
Or characters in general?
Cruella DeVille. There was Lady Tremaine and the stepsisters. Was that all of them?
Radcliffe was in there, right? Teresa, you saw
Oh
him?
yeah, I had
were-
some
you
eye
were
contact
bumping
with Red.
grind.
Yeah, he was like
Who was Facilier? Who was
the dude with the long fingers.
Yeah.
Dr.
Yeah,
Facilier.
Yeah, he was in
Yeah,
there.
he's in the photo. You can see him in
He
there.
was in there attempting to moonwalk.
and who was
He's
the
all
one
by
that,
himself back there.
who was the one that was posing for me that you like that had the cape?
That was Radcliffe.
Oh,
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
he did. He was like, he was coming towards us, and Kathy had her camera ready, and he was like, making his little moves, and he turned away, and then he took 3 steps and turned and posed for it. It was just kind of
It was cool.
awesome.
It's good that they had good character interactions. What kind of music were they playing in there? Modern, like, dance stuff? Or was it, like, spooky Halloween villain
No,
stuff?
it was your typical dance party,
Yeah.
DJ.
But
stuff.
there needs to be some actual Halloween music in there. I mean, Disney's produced Halloween shorts where they could take the music from some of that, and even like if they're going to do it at a dance party, remix it. Yeah,
Yeah, I was
do
going to say
whatever.
they'd have to remix it because it has to be danceable.
Yeah.
So it
Full
sounds
house
to me that the Club Villains was 10 times better than the Depression Hole that was the one at the Tomorrowland, the Mike and Sully dance party.
I'll tell you what the difference is. I don't dance well in heat, but put me in a really chilled room,
She was getting down, yeah.
and I will dance.
Right. I think you made your
What do you mean? Was it hot outside or?
It was hot outside. I'm not going to go over there and dance with the monsters. And
Oh, I thought you were describing one of your
Yes.
cats.
I was told I wasn't allowed to take any pictures of Teresa dancing.
Yeah.
In
she
heat.
did that last year. She invited that last year, and it wasn't pretty. So.
The one at Tomorrowland is always a little depressing because it has this big open space and there's just never a lot of people there. I don't know if you guys, when you guys were there, if there was ever a crowd over there, but it was not
it's
as
just
bumping.
Random people just
Watching.
watching, and a few little children randomly watching, and then one child that is out there,
Freestyling it.
just got the whole floor to herself, and it's just always kind of odd. But
So we're talking about what's new. Craig, you had mentioned in the news show before that the villains mix and mingle is a little different because of the soiree party. What's different about that? Is it just the fact that they don't come out?
Yeah, I mean, in general, they just don't come out anymore. Don't worry about it. Before they always would come out at the end, and they would kind of take a couple pictures, do some posing.
I think they would even say in the show, they would say, and now the villains will come down and mingle with you guys, and you can take pictures and meet them. And then they'd stand in front of the stage, and you can go up and actually meet them and do whatever.
But now the villains are being like really thinned out. I mean, they have to go back to the Villains Soiree, or they have to go over to the dance club and be there. There's just, right now, there's too many places they have to be on that night to do that end part. In the show itself, I speak as only from my perspective, but the show's absolutely horrible. No one should have to sit through it, hear it, listen to it. But the mingling part at the end made it worthwhile.
I'm gonna challenge you on that. I think you've seen it one too many times, Craig. I think that a person coming in for the first time who loves Disney, who loves Halloween, is going to enjoy that show.
They will enjoy groups of villains getting together and then swaying to the side.
They do a really weird dance move.
Oh, I love that. That's my favorite move. They're all doing
They
this.
just shuffle to the left, shuffle to the right, shuffle to the
I
left.
thought that was cool. I'm thinking, this is awesome.
And then they always end with that awful Off With Your Head remix with the Queen of Hearts. The one thing I noticed this year, and I don't know if they did it last year, did they use the projections on the castle last year?
Whenever we went I believe we hit the second party last year.
Yeah.
They didn't have it working yet.
Okay.
But they did. They put in the projections.
I thought that was
later
a
on.
nice
They did have,
touch.
I don't remember that from last year.
No, I
but
don't
went to
either,
the
'cause we
early
didn't see it,
parties.
yeah. But I thought that was a nice touch. They did add the kind of designs on the castle behind the
It's like celebrate your magic,
your magic.
but specifically for the villains.
Celebrate your magic.
Your man.
Celebrate it.
2015.
So one of the reasons that we're speculating that maybe they're not doing the mingle portion of the mix and mingle is that a lot of these characters can't be in two places at one time, and
Well, they're only one person.
right, exactly. So the Villains Sinister Soiree is brand new this year, and if you haven't listened to it, you should go back and listen to our news show from this week as well. As one of our news stories was Pete Warner's opinion on the Villains Sinister Soiree. I can never say that right.
It's a fancy word.
And it's a fairly, in general, a negative review of the execution of the event. As he said, you know, the actual characters and the location and a lot of things were positive, but putting all that together ended up in a very negative experience. I wanted to at least talk about it a little bit here on our Halloween party show. For those of you who maybe haven't listened to the news show, we had the first of two seatings. Ours was, I'm looking at all my various different credentials. Yes, we had the first seating, which was at 10:15. The following one was at either 11:30 or 11:45. But we were brought over to a special portion in the hub that was blocked off for us at 7:30. Mind you, it starts at 7. The whole party starts at 7. We were brought over there. Then we had a special viewing area right in front of the castle for the parade, for the fireworks. We were even able to catch a viewing of the wonderful Villains Mix and Mingle, and I was able to get some video from that. It's a good spot for that, but not such a great spot for fireworks. But after the fireworks, we were brought up to the castle, and like I said earlier, you get an hour to really get to interact with these villains characters, but it does feel a little rushed, at least in the first seating, and you get desserts, you get cheese and bread and stuff like that, and it really is fun, and it's unique and it's new, but I feel like Disney could have put it together, pieced it together a little less stressfully, but it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it for what it was, and I know you guys didn't get an opportunity to do it, but the main thing I come away from that experience with is you guys got to experience the party, and I really didn't, other than the parade and fireworks portion of it. But I don't want to go into too much. We have, the desserts that they have are the Bleeding Heart Apple from the Queen of Hearts. Oh no, from the Evil Queen from Snow White. Maleficent's Dragon Toasted Confection. Dr. Facilier's Chocolate Tarot Card, and Cruella de Vil's Spotted Chocolate Mousse Cake. The desserts were great. The food was great. Again, it just felt a little rushed, and it was $100 on top of the $70 that you just spent to get into the party anyway.
I don't know. Even reading it on paper, it just didn't tempt me at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do desserts. I know I'm in the minority, but I don't know. I think I'm glad I got to experience the party.
I will say there was one portion of the soiree that was particularly, I don't know if I was supposed to laugh or if I was supposed to be like in shock. The Lady Tremaine and her two daughters, the stepsisters, did their version of, I think it's pronouncing it right, Lord's Royals. And they're just singing completely off key, and that lasted a good 5 or 6 minutes because they took the tempo down quite a bit from what it
Were people enjoying it, or was it kind of a weird thing?
It was kind of in the background, and that's the whole thing. Is Lady Tremaine throughout this whole thing, while the characters are coming and talking to you and taking pictures with you, Lady Tremaine and the stepsisters are putting on this like floor show.
So they're hosting.
Yeah, they're hosting and entertaining, but they're also coming around and talking. And they did that, and they did the Evil Woman song, Evil Woman.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, not like that.
Oh, okay.
I carried a better tune than she did. Anyway, that's the Villains Sinister Soiree. Unless you guys have any questions about it, I don't want to go too much into it, and I want to suggest that you know take
Was
a
it
listen
sold
to
out?
the. It was sold out. We got that reservation. I'm pretty sure we got the last 5 seats for that seating when Pete called into the reservation line. They're going quick, and I don't even know if there's any available for the following parties that are still scheduled. But yeah, that's that. I want to get back to the party because I still don't know much about it after the soiree. I wanted to ask you guys what you thought about the candy stops going around. I know things had been changed around the previous few years because Fantasyland construction and stuff like that. So now that all that's done, how is that laid out now, and how do you feel that compares to previous years?
Can I mention something first? Because Teresa and I were having a little mini rant on Main Street last night because we went to buy our party merchandise, and they had us going in different places. It seemed like cast members weren't quite sure where their merchandise was. But then we went over to buy the special cupcakes, and we went into the confectionery. You need to say this right. But in my mind, I think of that as the bakery.
Yeah.
Well, it's not.
There's baked goods in there.
There's baked goods in there, and that is always where they had the cupcakes. And so we walk in, and Teresa held her park
I
map
didn't
up.
do that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Getting on Norma Ray about cupcakes.
No, it wasn't like that.
No, you did. So the cast member went in the back room and got a manager, and they came out, and then they pointed and they went.
First, they turned their backs to us and had a little meeting,
Yes.
which I found kind
what
of bizarre. Yeah, kind of bizarre.
But anyway, so here it turns out that now the special cupcakes are in Starbucks. That's the Main Street Bakery.
Technically,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, so I did rant on Facebook that, that they did this, and Starbucks was not open at the beginning of the party because they were brewing special magic for us was the excuse we got outside. But
That's what she said.
yes,
She actually said that, and I'm
Yes.
standing there going, okay.
Oh, that wasn't on a sign. A human being said that to
No,
you?
a human being said that to us.
yes.
As she was dancing and singing and doing her crap on Main Street, and we're, I'm going, okay, party started. It's pushing 7:30. Where's the cupcakes?
But I guess
Where are those cupcakes?
Where are those special cupcakes?
But the part that I wanted to mention was, does that bother anybody that now they've moved it over to where the high-priced beverages are, if you want your cupcake, rather than going into the confectionery?
No, it's been that
doesn't
way
bother
for a while. I remember it. Where were they had frozen cupcakes over in Starbucks too. They usually have them over there in Starbucks.
But
and
like
anyway,
in
they're crappy.
party- for different things, yes. But I said for a party like this, it just seemed weird that they put them in Starbucks.
I'll argue
What-
that if you go into the confectionery, you're going to walk away with actually more money than you spend at Starbucks.
Those apples are like $10 a piece.
Exactly.
And everyone wants
and
those.
everyone
Okay.
always ends up getting them because they look good. But the bigger issue is, who wants these cupcakes? There's nothing special about them.
Well, not
Were
only
these different flavors?
Not only
Did you guys
that,
enjoy them?
but if there are a lot of people that want the cupcakes, the facility that Starbucks is in seems a little bit more equipped to handle efficiency than the setup
makes
of the
sense.
I agree.
confectionery.
okay,
Yeah.
well, but look at these cupcakes now. Okay.
So we have a couple
Well,
different
I'm
cupcakes.
not gonna stand in line
we
for
have
them, but
a,
some people
a
might.
candy corn
Oh, wow.
cupcake.
it's 3 dollops of different sizes on a vanilla
Let's-
cupcake.
with the candy
Let's
corn
look at this
entombed
one,
in the
though.
top.
With the candy corn. And
Oh,
then,
look, it's a zombie
It's a
thing.
mummy.
ooh,
It's a
Stella
mummy.
made that one. That's Stella.
How much did she charge you?
So this is like a googly-eyed.
I paid
It's a mummy.
I paid a little
Mummy
over $10
cupcake.
for those 2 cupcakes.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And so you had high expectations for an event.
I wanted
cupcake.
something pretty. Over at Hollywood Studios, the cupcake that we had over there,
The Maleficent cupcake
yes,
for the
For the
Villains
same
Unleashed?
price.
was pretty.
Yeah.
It had some art to it. That is a baggie that you're piping frosting through the tip top.
I could have done that one.
You know, stuff. I'm sorry. Bella made that when she was five.
That's arts and craft hour.
It's just, I'm not getting it.
And
I
what
don't
was
know.
the price of the cupcakes again?
They were 5 something a piece.
$5.19.
What?
Yeah.
Did they
Yeah.
at least taste good?
Well, by the time we took them home, I took him home, and that one was still sitting on the counter.
Was it about as round as this coaster?
No, it wasn't that
No.
big. It was tiny.
Yeah.
It was
They were
tiny.
not big like the ones
They were
at
tiny.
the Villains party.
Okay.
They were tiny, and that one still has gone uneaten because he's so pretty. The
So
other
for
one,
the folks that are listening that haven't gone to the party yet, you would suggest avoiding the cupcakes?
don't do it. And their specialty cookie what's
Yeah.
this thing? This is a stupid thing. Say something about a specialty cookie, right?
Yeah.
Special cookie.
That had
oh, it's
sprinkles
so
on it,
pretty.
yeah.
It was a big old flat burnt sugar cookie with some black and orange jimmies on it.
Well, they don't do this every day. They can't always get it right without burning it.
Well, I was gonna
Good one.
did they
sarcasm.
fire some baker or something? Because these look like Betty Crocker cupcakes, and then there's burnt sugar cookies. was someone just filling in? Maybe.
I don't know.
Teresa, you sound very bitter. I want to know, did this ruin your
No,
Halloween
it did not ruin
experience?
it. It did not ruin it at all. But it just
'Cause you just seem
disappointed me.
really bitter.
Where's this? Where's the specialty cupcakes? And she points to the lowest shelf on the bottom. Oh, they're down there. And I'm going, oh, okay. Is that it?
Well, the thought is you want the free candy, not paying extra for specialty cupcakes.
No, if it's in the little
You got
flyer, then they need
Did you
to
get everything in there?
She is shaking that pamphlet.
Yeah,
But
she
that's
is.
not. I'm sorry, Corey.
It wasn't wrinkled until she grabbed it. I was going to frame this at home.
It's getting a little intense
got
here at the
tore
round
up, sorry.
table.
Well, now that we've talked about cupcakes, I was going to talk about candy, but this is actually a good time to talk about the event merchandise that they had. Does anybody have experience with the event merchandise that they'd like to
Trying to get it, or
Yes. And
yeah,
well, first of all, they had
was like the
special
magical
magic
mystery
bands.
tour
I
trying
will
to
say
get
this. So we got the special magic bands that they're selling for the
Yeah.
party, and they're very nice. They're very attractive. They're cute. I like them.
I have a question. Do they
have
make
one of
noises
them.
when you scan them?
This is what I was going to get to. Nobody seems to know very much about these bands other than you can buy them for $30. I was asked a few things on Twitter. They were valid questions.
Right.
And I had to go multiple places. I probably asked, would you say, no less than 7 cast members, including ones in the Emporium, and I went to guest relations. Nobody was able to give me answers to these questions, such as, do they make noise when you put them up on the Fast Pass, kiosk? I had
Right.
to even go a couple different places to find out if there was a DVC member discount for them. It seems like at least, things like that should be known. So these are mystery magic bands.
What is
And they
that?
are limited to 1,500. So
apparently-
This is 5,000.
Yeah, it's 5,000.
5,000.
Yeah.
Limited 5,000. Now it's a green magic band where one side has the Halloween party logo and Mickey and Minnie with a pumpkin, and the other side just has wispy little Halloween designs on it.
wispy.
Yes, and they are limited to 5,000. Who knows when that will sell out?
I have gotten the frozen ones that are. You can use your AAA discount. You can use your annual pass to get a discount on those. And the important thing to know with those two is they have to be linked to your ticket.
Yes.
Where the plain bands now, they've gone to, you can buy them as gifts for people, but you can't do that with these.
Right. I think especially because it's a limited edition,
Right.
they're trying to control how many have it, and they want to make sure everybody's there so that people don't go on eBay and just hawk these without associating them to an account. They also had trading pins available behind the counter and special green T-shirts with that same logo with Mickey and Minnie on it. Didn't seem to be very long lines or issues with them selling out of any merchandise unless you guys have heard otherwise.
The pins, when we were there like what, 7:15, 7:30?
7:05. We were there in
Okay.
the Emporium.
And the magic bands were being sold closer to the one end of the street, and we asked, well, where are they selling the pins? And they went, oh, 3 rooms down, 3 rooms down. So we go down, and they went, oh, no.
One room back.
Go back 1 room.
And the other room
then-
says about near the cupcakes.
Yeah, and they went, well,
Now
okay,
slide
the
to
regular
the left.
pins are here, but if you want the annual pass holder pin, that's the next set of.
Or the sets, if you wanted to buy
Yeah.
sets, there were 3 different locations for pins.
Okay.
And then that one cast member, when we went up to the counter, was waiting on the person before us. He's like, "There are the pins," and they were like 15 feet away from her, and she was like, "Well, I can't even see them. Can you show them to me?" It was just odd. I don't know. I'm not a pin collector, so I mean, it didn't really affect me, but
Right.
I like the cupcakes.
When
Scarred
have
me.
you gotten so old and confused?
Last week.
Oh, cool.
I want to know more about this Vanna White that worked in the Emporium.
Here they are.
Here are the pins.
That's what he did. Did he not?
Yeah.
There they are behind
Would
us.
you like to buy a pin?
And the woman
Like
just
a
looked
valve?
confused,
the
like,
thing that he
No,
said?
they didn't
Okay.
ask if you wanted to buy the pin. They just went, there they are.
there they are.
There they are.
And he did this, and I'm going,
Okay, so moving on from the merchandise, I just want to get through some of this stuff. We have I wanted to talk about the candy stations. You guys feel like it was laid out good, that there was enough candy?
I think so.
Yes, but one of the things that didn't seem to be working was, you know how they usually have like the lighted pole with the pumpkin on top to indicate it? How many did we go to that?
2 or 3 that it was not even there.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
The Tiki Room station, there was no.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, there was
Yes,
over
there
near the
was.
sign.
No, when
No,
we got
when
there,
we were
it was
there,
not
there
working.
wasn't.
It was not working because
So-
the girl was like, "In here, we have candy," and
So
everybody's
was
like,
it there and just not turned on?
This was at 5 p.m. They were there too early.
No, this was,
No, it was after.
it was
it
after
was
the party started.
After the first parade.
Well, everything might not always start up right away,
Well,
but that
okay,
doesn't
Craig, I
mean
get
it wasn't
that.
there.
It's getting mean.
Okay, and there's my thing. If the party starts at 7 o'clock,
Be ready.
everything
people.
should be open
Yeah.
and
I
functioning
had a good
at
time,
7
didn't you?
o'clock.
Yeah. Well, the candy was there, just the light wasn't on. Right?
Yes, but if you didn't know that, you
Well, there
know,
was a
like
lady
you're just
screaming.
Well, you gotta
not
be
everybody's
perceptive.
reading
Oh.
the map.
In reference to what you were saying, and we were just talking about merchandise, we did figure out that they were actually selling the merchandise and distributing the Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom special card. Hello? Early, before the party started. So that was kind of nice. If you had gotten in early, then you also had the chance at buying the merchandise maybe a little bit before everyone else and getting that Sorcerer's card.
Before 7.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
got
got
ours
ours around
all before
6:45.
7. We got our magic bands before
Well,
7.
you had to have the
and-
bracelet.
Yeah, they were
They're
released
not
at
giving it away
6:30.
to hobos.
But candy stops.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
mean to derail
No,
us.
it's okay.
I thought it was great. I think from what I remember in years past, there was a lot of stops before where you would go and there was just one single candy bucket and you're waiting in this long line for candy buckets. It seemed like they had more stations. I know they've had some of them, but it seems like there was more of them where you'd go and you'd walk through the line and you'd hit 3 barrels
Right.
before you got out, which was really nice. I really liked that. Just
Candy
'cause you-
trails, yeah.
yeah, because you walked
they-
away with more candy without, with what felt like less line.
Disneyland's been doing that for a while, and I always thought there
I'm sorry. Was the quality of the candy good?
It was
Yeah.
really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's my little tip. When you walk up there, if there's something special you want, you tell that cast member.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you
she was-
can.
She was very demanding.
I was not demanding. I was like, I just said, I prefer chocolate. Don't give me no
All the
stupid
places we
Tootsie
went to, the
Rolls.
cast members were freely asking us, like, what do
Yeah,
you
they'll
want?
ask.
And
Oh,
that's,
really?
and
That's a first.
And it got to a weird point where the one girl let me reach in and take the candy that I
Yeah.
wanted.
Oh, I was handpicking stuff.
Well, and so was I, but then I got to the one over at, I forget where it was.
It was
And
the
it was-
Fantasyland Trail.
Yeah, it was Fantasy, Starbucks Circus, and I reach in, and the girl almost slapped my hand away. She said, I need to touch the candy first. And I went, oh, I'm so sorry. She got very angry with me.
Well, I have a question. Do you think maybe that was because we went to a party that was so early in the season? When there's more people in the parks, they may not be
No
letting
question.
people,
If you have a long
No
line,
question.
then
letting
they're not
people
gonna.
pick their own
I don't
candy.
know. We went last year late, too, because I went twice last year.
But it would take you forever to get through those candy lines if everybody was going. I only want Tootsie Rolls. You
Who
know,
would only get Tootsie
Well,
Rolls?
me
Oh, okay.
or Tootsie Pops.
I don't know.
And I stopped at guest services and wanted to see what they had as far as like sugar free, because it used to be like, oh yeah, give me a bag and I'll go give you some stuff. Where now they have a paper and they say what's your allergy or and then you could select from a couple different kinds, and then they go in the back room and fill your bag and come out with what you've asked for.
That's kind of cool.
So it was gluten-free, nuts and whatever, and sugar-free, and I'm sure they probably can accommodate some other things too. But they stress that it's not a trick-or-treat station. That's just
Right.
there in case you need it.
In case you need it, right? Because then otherwise everybody would be going there and they'd run out for the people who actually need it. I also want to ask you guys about the characters. I know the Halloween parties typically have some special characters scattered throughout the park. Did anybody see? Any of the characters?
You know who I liked, and I don't know their names. Corey, what's that?
I was trying to sneak around, and you start talking.
Pay no attention to the man behind me.
I was doing so good. I was crawling on the floor and everything.
Okay, well, back in Storybook Circus, you could see Minnie and Daisy dressed up in costume.
In their costume. They also had Donald was in the pumpkin back there.
However, Goofy was wearing his normal
Goofini.
great Goofini costume, so
Right.
nothing out of the ordinary. Pooh and friends were dressed up. No dressed up Mickey anywhere that we could see.
Mickey was in, I think he was in Town Square, I think.
Yeah, probably just normal talking Mickey.
Okay.
Seven Dwarfs were where they always are, against the wall now. And it's there wasn't really anything unique, probably because they were either at Club Villain or they were upstairs.
Winnie
at
the Pooh,
Soiree.
the Pooh characters were dressed up in their costumes.
Yeah, as per
Did you say
norm.
that?
What was the streetmosphere we saw back in Frontierland that we stood there and laughed about?
Cadaver dance.
Cadaver dance.
Yeah, they were amazing. And their little stupid jokes, and they're walking around like zombies.
I really wish I could have seen some of that stuff.
That was
And
awesome.
They were
what's
good.
the lady's
Cadaver
name
dance.
at the Haunted Mansion?
Lady
Carlotta.
Carlotta.
Yeah.
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 There's two of them, though.
Yeah, Carlotta and Renata. Or
Carlotta, too.
Yeah.
Why not?
Carlotta and her
Winona.
sister, ugly stepsister. But yeah, that's always fun.
So
too.
the character interactions were on par with years
Oh,
past.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And then I think lastly, and we'll come back to if anybody else has anything they want to add. Lastly, I want to talk about the parade and the fireworks. What did you guys think about the parade? We had a new edition with Wreck-It Ralph this
and
year.
Penelope, is that her name?
Vanellope.
With the V.
That's one place I think they need to. That's my criticism. Is like every year for Christmas and Halloween is they're an entertainment company. They could switch it up. Do something a little bit different. They've got access to different music. Come on, you're Disney. You can do this better. There's no excuse you have to do the same thing every year.
I don't know that
I
I
like
agree
the
with
music.
that. I don't know that I agree with that. In my opinion, the Halloween parade is the best parade in the entire year. I don't really want anyone messing with it. Like, you become sentimental to certain things, including the music and the particular acts. They have some really great ones in this parade. Like, I love the Grave Diggers and the Ghost Ballroom Dancers and all of that. I maybe adding more, but there are certain things I just feel like they should stick with, including the music, because you really you get into that.
I like
that
the music, but I don't like the men in bubble wrap. What is that?
The men in bubble.
They're
wrap.
like clear little outfits.
Are you talking about the Hitchhiking Ghosts? I love them.
I don't like
the
them,
Hitchhiking Ghost Band. I
don't like
adore
them.
them. And
like
but
I forgot
the-
they are wearing clear suits, aren't they?
they
Clear little
are.
bubble wrap. I got a
conches.
close up
Yeah.
last night. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks crazy, but I think that's why I like it. Anyway, they did add the Wreck-It Ralph little blip of whatever that was.
Did you feel
It was
like that fit
no, that was
into the
very
parade?
negligible. I mean, I think they tried to make it fit in with the regular Goofy's candy
Well, it was a
section.
candy theme. Yeah.
Yeah. But Vanellope was just out there all on her own, and then
She was working it. She was trying.
She was trying, but she
And she had
was
those
not.
little- and she
She
had
was
those
trying,
little-
but she was not succeeding.
It was sad.
They
It was her
needed.
first time, Jenny Lynn. Knott.
I'm
Give her a chance.
It's not
There's
gonna be
nothing.
great.
There's nothing wrong with her. There just should have been a little. If you're gonna promote it
She had
as
cankles.
we've got Wreck-It Ralph in the parade this year, let's have Wreck-It Ralph
Well,
in the
here's-
parade this year. Like, do it up a little more than that.
What could have been perfect is that in the movie Wreck-It Ralph, she drives a freaking candy car.
That would
There
have
you
been
go.
awesome.
Why
Yeah.
they have the little tiny car in the Christmas parade? Why not build a tiny candy car, have her drive around in it?
That's a good
Such
idea.
an excellent idea.
So-
So smart. I'm so proud of you for coming up with that.
No,
How long
She
seriously.
ago
probably couldn't fit in that little car though. She would.
They'd have to modify it. I mean, it's fine.
Something like that would have been really great. I feel like that would have been worth saying,
Take
hey,
away
we've
the
got
big
Wreck-It
candy
Ralph in the
corn
parade
that
this
was
year.
going down the street.
And that would fit in. But how long ago was that decision made that Wreck-It Ralph would be part of the parade?
3 days ago.
Yeah.
last week.
Okay, that's why they don't have a special.
I'm
candy
lying. I have
car.
no idea when they did this.
Oh, okay. Then I don't know if that's why.
They probably lost the Pluto costume where he has the chef's
That's
hat
exactly
on,
what it
so.
is.
Yeah. I know my impression of the parade, other than the Wreck-It Ralph thing, which I thought was cool to see those characters, but Vanellope was sad all by herself. It's not really different than the past years, and I feel like it's if you like the Boo to You parade, you're gonna love it because
The booty.
Boo to you.
The booty parade.
What's on your mind?
Booty. I like booty parade.
I think you're gonna enjoy it. If you're a fan of it, it hasn't changed much, and it's still really good.
The last section needs to go. It's good to be bad with the skeleton people that have instruments
really?
but can't play it. That's the worst
Oh
part.
man, that's like one of my favorite
That's-
parts.
When did that start? It feels so 90s.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the
Yeah.
hitchhiking ghost people again?
No, I was born in
No.
2000. What?
These guys are like red and black and white.
Yeah, they play like
and they have
guitar.
guitars
They're like
and
skeletal
yeah,
people.
yep, yep.
Pretending like they can play. And they're just.
They need
air
the
guitar
villains.
stuff.
They need the villains that last float. However, they don't need those guys doing It's Good to Be Bad and then having Pain and Panic in
the
exotic
tail end.
dancer caves is right behind them.
They really are.
It is.
I don't,
Where's
it really
Ursula?
is like
Where-
that.
Is she not a villain? Is she not
well,
anywhere
she
in
can't
this?
fit on the float.
Well, they could do something with her. Make her own little. Turn one of them candy corn things into Ursula spinning about.
I cannot imagine that looking good. It's like a Pinterest project.
I don't know. I think she should be there.
And lastly,
was.
what do you guys think of the fireworks last night? The Hallow Wishes, the special Halloween fireworks. Are you noticing any differences from last year?
No.
Colors are
different.
great.
I don't
Love the
notice
colors though.
Great colors.
Yeah,
it's a good palette.
Yeah, it's a good palette.
I
It's
watched,
one of my favorites.
watched like down by town hall and watched because usually I'm up closer to the castle and I don't get the how they do the what do they call it, surround sound or surround
It's like the
panoramic
180
whatever
Perimeter.
But- yes,
Perimeter.
Thank you.
Fireworks.
But it was neat seeing the fireworks over like the Emporium. Mm-hmm. It gave you like that, like if you wanted that picture postcard view of Magic Kingdom. And I took some pictures like behind the mayor, the ones that are in that flower bed and stuff,
Right.
with the fireworks behind it. It was a totally different way of seeing the fireworks, and I really liked it.
Yeah, I think the fireworks were just as good as they've always been. Something that just came to my mind when you mentioned the mayor pumpkin scarecrow guy. How did you guys think the overall energy, theming, and that kind of stuff was at the party this year?
I thought it was
That was one of the
great.
first things I said. The energy was it was a lot better, especially with the music and the cast members.
Yeah.
Energy was good. I love that, but they need to take the decorations off farther out,
Right.
away from Main Street.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
need to take it throughout the park.
More pumpkins, more garland, not just orange light bulbs everywhere.
Yeah,
They
and
rely a lot on fog and
Lighting.
those projections of images
Yeah.
on things in the back end of the park. Yeah, I would love to
And
see
there's
more.
more. There's
I would
more
love to see more in the
Halloween
back
than
end.
pumpkins.
But that's not news. I think we've said this the last 2 or 3 years. We've said we need to take the theming away from just Main Street and spread it throughout the park.
a little bit further.
I was hoping to see something with Seven Dwarfs being lit up. It was pretty dark out back there.
Yeah.
I would imagine they could do some cool lighting on the mountain.
Yeah, they could.
It's
Well, too
typically very dark in New Fantasyland for these kind of late
Yeah.
night events.
Something bizarre though, on Space Mountain in years past,
yeah.
they used to always project the spider web on it,
Yeah.
which was cool. I don't think they had it last year. At least I didn't see it. But this year they were projecting a rainbow.
Yeah, so
on
there was
Okay.
an honest to God just rainbow on
What?
on Space Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
he
it a
dressed up
scary
as a-
rainbow?
He was dressed up as a Care Bear.
just rainbow colors. So in each where each steel beam is, that would separate another color,
Okay.
and it was just rainbowed around.
Because rainbows
pretty.
and Halloween obviously go together.
That is a little confusing for me. I'm not
There was
sure what to make of
a
that.
skull
there
and
with us.
crossbones on Big Thunder Mountain.
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, does anybody have anything they want to add before we call it wraps?
Is that a mummy joke?
No, wrap it up. Not call it quits. Wrap it up.
You can't hold a towel to it.
Can't hold a towel to that comment. Well, I want to just go around and you guys tell me, how you feel about it versus last year, and would you go again, and did you like it, that kind of stuff. Corey?
I think it was better than last year, but I always say this. For my first time there, it's like I feel like I'm just going through the motions, walking around, taking photos. I get the real experience when I go with my kids, and I take Julie and the kids. That's when I can really, really judge. Last night was just running around, trying to cover everything, and sweating some more, and covering. So I want to wait till it's closer to Halloween and take the kids.
Right.
I agree. I enjoyed it more than I have in this last couple of years, except for the cupcake disappointment. And I'll go back with the girls and let them pick it apart, and we'll enjoy it more that way too.
Okay, how about you, Sean?
I think it's a great party. I think it's very similar to all the ones in the past. Minor changes, but definitely fun. I would definitely go again.
Yeah, it's my favorite party up until whenever the Christmas party happens, and then I'm like, oh, this is better than the Halloween party, and then the Halloween party comes back next year, and I'll say, oh, this is better than the Christmas party, and it's just an endless cycle. But I mean, they're always fun. It's a nice change from just day to day. Magic Kingdom, definitely worth the ticket, and it's cool every year. Go see it.
All right, Kathy.
I enjoyed it. I think I went in with the attitude of, like the special little touches that they're taking out of Epcot, or they're replacing. There's special touches at the Halloween party that I'd be really sad if they weren't there anymore. And as I went by and we experienced them, and said, this is what keeps bringing me back to Disney. It's those special little touches. I think anybody could throw a Halloween party. Yeah. But when Disney puts those special touches in there, that's why I go. If they start taking that kind of stuff out, I don't know that I want to go anymore.
Okay. How about you, Jael?
I definitely had a great time. I feel like it was a better party than years past that I've been to. I don't know if it is because, for some reason, it seems like maybe this year had just a notch, a slight touch of it being a little bit darker. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's from like the Club Evil or Club Villain thing or whatever it is, but I just I felt like the vibe, the energy has improved this year. I actually don't mind that the party starts this early. I enjoyed the lower crowd level. Right. Felt like that enhanced my experience of it. I probably wouldn't necessarily, I don't know, maybe felt more like a costume party than a Halloween event, but I'm not opposed to that either. So I really liked it. It felt like you get at least going a little bit early, maybe you get a little bit more for the money that you're spending on the ticket, just because the crowd level is less.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear you guys enjoyed it, even though it may not have in any kind of major way changed a lot in the last few years, but I'm glad to hear that you're still enjoying it. You guys are huge Disney fans, so are our listeners, and they keep coming back. You guys keep going back. So I'm glad you get to enjoy it again. I wish I could have enjoyed it more, but the Villains Sinister Soiree kind of took up a lot of my time, and I'm looking forward to going and seeing it again. But I do believe that is going to do it for our episode talking about the not-so-scary Halloween party at the Magic Kingdom. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you will join us next week with another edition of the DIS Unplugged. Until next time, guys, goodbye.